She thought the internet would cheer her on, but instead, it exposed everything. An attempt to humiliate her husband ended badly. Let's check it out.
This has been hands down the most depressing, miserable, horrible 3 years of my life.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I have literally never been so depressed. I've never hated another person more than I hate the person that I married.
I don't like where this is going.
I do everything for everybody in my life, like me, my kids, him. He goes to work and works enough. That's it. He works.
Isn't that what all humans do? He has a family to provide for. Of course, he needs to work.
Yeah, his job's hard. Yeah, his hours. But he works. That is all he does. I am in a different town because I had to take my kids to their football practice.
We don't care.
Let me tell you.
And I asked him to watch our daughter. And you know what he did? He slept. He slept since he got home. What did I do? I did homework. I fed the kids. I took my son to speech. I went to the bank. I paid people to mow my yard because, he can't mow the yard anymore.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Can you blame him? The guy works all day long. Can't he have a break?
I, like I said, made sure homework got done. I got them ready for football. I took them to football. I tried taking care of myself and went on a walk, but, when I started realizing I hadn't heard from him, I'm calling and calling and calling and begging for the bare minimum of him to watch our f***ing daughter. I am 30 years old, and I'm literally begging for the bare minimum every single day. I am a married single mom. That's what I am. Yeah, I don't work, but the amount of weight I carry...
These things are her responsibility to do as a mother. I don't know why she's upset. Since she's unemployed, she can help around the household while he works, and it will work perfectly.
I have been applying for jobs. I can tell you right now, the reason women stay in relationships is, one, because they don't have the means to leave.
Why isn't it possible? It's just not. Why not?
Financially, like a house. Two, the idea of a family. I can tell you why I've stayed. Money. It's that simple. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. He used to want me to be a stay-at-home mom. Now he just doesn't care because he doesn't care about anything.
What do you mean by that?
He works, so it means he cares about the most important part.
I shouldn't have to wake a 32-year-old man up for work. No matter what shift, first, second, third, I shouldn't have to wake him up for work.
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting. This is awful in every way.
I shouldn't have to tell him what time to set an alarm if I can't wake him up. I shouldn't have to call or make people go wake him up. I shouldn't tell a grown man that he probably should shower after working all day.
It's pretty difficult to put into words how disgusted I am, how depressed I am.
So she's saying that she wants to do nothing at this point. So basically, she wants all the reward with no effort.
I shouldn't have to tell him to brush his teeth. I shouldn't have to tell him to feed his kids while he's taking care of them.
Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
I shouldn't have to tell him to watch his kids. I shouldn't have to tell him what to put the kids in when it comes to clothes. I shouldn't have to tell him where the clothes are.
Jesus Christ.
He doesn't even know my kids' teachers' names. I shouldn't have to manage his schedule and mine and my kids. I shouldn't have to tell him, hey, you need to refill your medicine. Hey, you need a doctor's appointment. Hey, you should probably get your oil changed. Hey, your brakes don't sound good. Not only tell him, but then I have to call and schedule that oil change because will he do it himself? No. Will he call himself? No. I am raising another kid.
What the is this piece of shit?
I'm glad he left. With all due respect, I can't imagine dealing with that on a regular basis, especially if all my efforts aren't appreciated. Some people always say I or me, and that means she only sees the world through her own eyes, with no other perspective, and never puts herself in his shoes.
This our first trip together. Hey, everybody in first class. I thought he was getting us first class tickets, but he lied. We all the way at 38B. But at least it's our first trip. We trying. Look at him.
Shaming him next to all those people just because he booked economy instead of first class is crazy to me.
Look at y'all in first class. Oh, it must be nice. Look at y'all separate. They gave y'all water already.
Get out of here, man.
Because that's not cool. He said first class to St. Louis. Look at me. I'm going to visit his aunt. She's a great baker.
I never understand people who use this logic, and they forget that both first class and economy arrive at the same time.
And look at you working over there in first class. Busy. Hello, General Mission. All right. This is our first time on a trip, everybody. Yay. He told me I'm going to be in first class. He lied. We're in 38 if anybody looking for us. Wow. He also told me I was going to the Virgin Islands, but we're going to St. Louis.
I wouldn't be surprised if they broke up after this.
Now that's a big difference.
Dinner's ready.
I can't see when the door's closed.
Well, here's your dinner. Dinner is ready.
Okay.
There's your fork and your knife.
Damn!
And what do you want to drink? Oh, wait. I already picked it out for you. You're welcome.
What is your deal?
Eat your dinner. Oh!
That's what I'm talking about.
No matter how hungry a man is, he wouldn't accept food if treated poorly like this. It's all about the way we're treated.
Waylon! No, that is so rude. That is literally
really did
so
that
rude.
to me. You just did that to me.
Eat. Listen, I just spent an hour making that. You are gonna eat.
And I just spent an hour gonna start working my truck and you coming.
Okay.
No, I'm not eating that.
Yes.
I don't care that Gordon Ramsay made this meal and it looks good. I don't care at all.
Waylon,
If you're gonna serve
you
me,
know that looks good.
Mia, if you're gonna serve me food like that, I'm not eating.
We would prefer a loaf of bread served with love rather than a 5-course meal served in a disrespectful way.
Really?
God.
So I have to do it like this. Here you go. Here you go, babe. Here's your dinner.
Why are you being rude?
No. Enjoy.
I get it. You don't like cooking, but God,
I'm not a waitress. I'm a wife. So there you go.
I could have made my own plate. You could have called me in here. I would have made my own plate.
I'm not a line cook either.
Alright, I'll eat it.
Is it good?
It's nasty.
Really? It's nasty.
It's really nasty.
Come back and eat it right now. Waylon.
It's disgusting.
How dare you?
My mom is better than that.
I know he did not just say that.
Got him! Got him!
No one would ever defeat a mother's cooking, and he wasn't disgusted by the food. We all know her behavior was the reason.
Perfect man exists? I don't know yet. I have a man right now that spoils me, but I don't want to date him. Why not? He's 5'6". I don't even want to touch him, so... Oh, okay. So yeah, he's just buying me like Cartier, and I'm like, thank you.
Stop it. Get some help.
I really hope her boyfriend sees this video.
Should have put a bloody jacket on, it's freezing out there.
What are you wearing?
What?
I said smart casual. We're going out for a meal with my family.
Yeah, smart, casual. How is a shirt not smart?
The shirt is smart, the tracksuit bottoms and the Air Force Ones aren't.
Huh?
You're like a confused school teacher that's trying to fit in with the kids.
Oh, is that why you get me to come in every time we do something now, so you can check me over like a parent to make sure I'm not going to embarrass you?
Shaming a man's choice in clothing is disrespectful. He really did an effort to dress up.
I'm just going to text them and say you're not feeling well and you're not coming.
No, you're not. We're going for a carvery. I've been looking forward to a roast beef. Why are you so bothered about what I'm wearing?
Because you're not even matching. Look at the colours. You're like a packet of sweets.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Just get changed. Go home and get changed.
No, I'm not going out to get changed. You just told me I look like a packet of sweets.
Bro, I'm out, man.
Go on their page, right? Not posted. Not one posted, right? They probably behind the scenes, who knows? But if you ain't posting, it's for 2 reasons, right? The relationship is in shambles, or you embarrassed, bro. Cause it's a happy relationship, bro. No. A female that's in a happy relationship, she gonna post it. You don't gotta post it all the time, right? And they say, oh, I wanna keep my relationship private. You got one picture posted, and the relationship can still be private. Nobody knows what the going through.
That's what I'm talking about.
What do you guys think the reason is a girl won't post her guy on her socials? Do you think it's a question of privacy, or is there more to it?
I want a guy to pay on the first date.
That's
How
pretty
is that any
normal.
different?
That's normal.
So
Have you
normal.
ever heard of laundry
No.
on a first date? Like,
But
that's not
here's
a
the thing. I don't care about normal, because what is normal?
You're not normal. You're special.
Yeah, welcome to encountering a man who actually has standards and expectations for women, because most of y'all deal with dudes who will just be happy with a crumb of that's it. And so it's weird for you to encounter a guy who needs more than just
A guy that recognizes his own value and is ready to walk away if being disrespected is a force to be reckoned with.
they're good little lapdogs and they'll do everything for you for some. But here's the thing, I have much higher expectations for my girlfriend than just having me.
People who often judge are the ones who do less in life. So if we recognize this pattern, we just leave and protect our dignity.
Everybody has their preferences, but specifically when it comes to short men, it seems like there's a bunch of vitriol online making fun of short men, calling them short kings, which I feel like is totally disrespectful, totally out of pocket. I've dated men who aren't very tall. I've dated men under 6 feet tall, and it's because they were confident, I was attracted to them, and the height really didn't play a factor. If you go online and if you base your life and who you are off of what you see online, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. I've been body shamed. I've had people say that, you know, oh, I look too big to be wearing that, all sorts of things, my natural curly hair. I've had people critique that, but at the end of the day, it's who I am, and I have to stand by that, and I have to be the best version of me as I am, and so do you, and so do you. And I feel like when you have that...
When it comes to shaming, it is wrong when the person can't change anything about it, like height.
It won't be an issue, and be confident about it. I know the guys that I dated who were short, they were. Be confident, be you. That's what I'll always say. Be confident, be you.
It's true that you need to be confident, but always find room for improvement, and never find comfort in bad habits and call them a part of yourself. Always strive for greatness.
Men often talk about hormones influencing their emotions and behavior. Why are there some women who shame men for being horny when testosterone is a male hormone?
These interview questions seem super sexist, and I'm not going to continue this.
Why you have to be mad?
Well, in other words, why are men expected to accept female hormones, but women won't accept male hormones?
Wow. That's a really good question. That makes me so ignorant, but I've definitely been like, wow, what a horny man. But I've been like, oh, my period, I'm so mean.
Well.
We either have to accept each other or nothing. There is no half.
I really think women they get their rocks off by embarrassing their like
100%.
And I feel like not only that, I feel like that's why they do that. They'll disrespect other people and say in front of other people that they know they would never say in private, right? And two, they argue with their person in front of other people, because I feel as though they're looking for, if he does anything back to me, then I get the sympathy that I want. So that's why they also then, after the argument, they then run to social media and post, oh, my boyfriend did this, or I can't believe that he really said this to me, or he's a deadbeat. It's like a kind of like a sympathy empathy game, you know, like they're just trying to gain like the public perception.
If you rely on strangers for advice on your relationship, it's over at that point.
No man should let his girl yell at them during arguments. All you're doing is literally letting her disrespect you, and over time she won't respect you. And if there's no respect, there's no sex. Yeah. So, you know, like, talk calmly, tell her to speak to you when she's not emotionally high, and yeah, be assertive, daddy.
Arguments are a part of life, but let's do them in private instead of public humiliation.
A lot of people don't like to talk about how there are women who really do abuse their man, especially emotionally, and then of course how they get away physically, because, you know, most men don't know their strength, so they better not ever lay a hand on another woman. But then you see women that they abuse their men, and then they're so toxic, they do things to their cars, to their possessions, and then they just get away with it. And a lot of people don't like to talk about it, but I will. Treat men with respect. Men feel love when they're respected. It's really that simple. And if you're not ready for a relationship, if your hands are too floppity flop, then go and stay single.
If a person cannot be respectful, then it's not good to be in a relationship.
There was a point in my life when I was very handsy as well. That's why I can speak about it. And it was a horrible place to be. And I'm so glad that with healing, I was able to heal that part of me. You know, you grow up in a dysfunctional family. You don't really know much of functional anything. You don't know much about healthy relationships. But that's not an excuse. If I change my ways, you can change your ways too. Treat your man with respect. If not, you're gonna find him looking for somebody else who will. It's really common sense.
I'm glad she didn't take her past as an excuse, but instead used it as fuel to correct herself.
It's the type of nigga, bro. Don't go for girls that are white. You know why? Why? Because their dads don't give a f***. Damn. I've girls that are white before. Okay? They can't cook. They don't give good head. Right? The are drier than in the desert. Know what I mean? Go for girls that have self-respect. Break the girl's heart. Friends, because you know, like if you're dating a girl, you have to find out who her ops are. So my ex, I'm best friend. Alright? She's mad at me, but I did her a favor at the end of the day. You know what? Because I found out that she's not a real friend. Emotional damn.
I don't agree on most of the stuff he says, but I'd have to agree with him only dating girls with self-respect.
Your husband is a good guy, but you're ready for divorce? You're not a bad person.
She describes herself as a divorce recovery coach for moms, whatever that is. And understandably, she made that video because, well, she's trying to drum up business. And what better way to do so than by making moms feel good about leaving their husbands? And that's perfectly fine. But apparently she's not too happy with some of the responses she's getting from the husbands.
Men are losing their mind over a recent video that I made.
So a man taking a few moments to express his opinion on the matter is losing his mind?
Your spouse doesn't have to be abusive.
If we're going to put ourselves out there on the internet, we cannot expect no criticism, and we cannot label it insane. We've got to take the feedback and respectfully address it.
In order for your feelings of wanting to leave to be valid.
Actually, I don't have a problem with this. I actually agree with her. No one should be in a marriage that they are not happy in. But
there are dozens of reasons why marriages fall apart.
Okay, let's hear some of those reasons, but let's also keep in mind her business is a divorce recovery coach. So without a divorce happening, she can't make money.
Here are some examples. Financial problems.
Financial problems. Well, pretty much every marriage experiences financial problems at some point. So the first step to do, file for divorce.
It's concerning how she encourages them to jump into divorce just to make her profit, instead of helping them try to work it out.
Growing apart, communication.
Both of those issues are common in every marriage at some point. Heck, in every relationship, no matter what kind it is, at some point. So the first solution, file for divorce.
Addiction, too much arguing.
Again, I agree, those are valid reasons. However, shouldn't the first solution be trying to find a way to work through them?
If there is no abuse or violence in a relationship, there is always a solution. But this lady tries to make them quit when there is still a way to fix their problem.
Lack of emotional or physical intimacy.
Yes, lack of physical intimacy. You know, the one where if he's not interested, it's his fault, and if she's not interested, it's also his fault.
One spouse just isn't carrying their weight in the marriage.
The infamous, he's not carrying his weight. He's a good guy, but he's just not doing enough. So, divorce him.
Maybe you married too young or for the wrong reasons.
Again, these could be valid reasons, but I ask you this, shouldn't those have been obvious before you got married?
Those are all very common reasons for divorce, and it doesn't make you or your spouse a bad person.
Now I hear you, and I might agree with you except for one thing. You see, if a man used any of those as a reason for walking away from his marriage, he would be immediately vilified and accused of abandoning his family.
This is the sad reality. We cannot say these things freely anymore because society expects us to step up even when everything is crumbling. And it is our nature to not run away in chaos, but to face it head on.
Now, let's be clear. I'm not trying to be mean to her or throw any ill will or shade at her. I just simply want to point out that she makes her living by coaching women who have been divorced. And we need to keep that in mind when she's encouraging said women to leave, by her own word, good men for what are problems that every marriage has at some point or another.
When those ladies realize that the issues had easy fixes, they will regret leaving when all could have been resolved.
And that is why men, well, to use her term, are losing their minds. Because men know that women, they're abandoning their marriages at the first sign of trouble rather than trying to work it out.
I just seen this older lady who's a psychologist put herself through all the mental gymnastics, man, to make men of her age group look very weird and creepy for dating younger women. The whole time I'm looking at them, it's like, y'all just mad that y'all can't do it. Because unlike men, women are not visual creatures, men are, right? They see, they respond. Females are not like that, you know? And obviously in those relationships, you know, it's mutually beneficial to the men and the younger woman, right? The younger woman is looking for certain experiences that older man can provide, and that older man is looking for her beauty. I mean, it's a very superficial, materialistic relationship, right? But for whatever reason, they always want to shame the older man.
It's very unfair because men do it to build families, but some people try to make it seem bad. Well, guys, that was all for today. We'll be back soon.